Waukesha, Wisconsin, just outside Milwaukee. And on a Saturday morning this past May, a horrific tale is just beginning to emerge.
Is there any bleeding going on?
Her clothing has got blood on it.
So today we'll be discussing if juveniles who commit violent crimes should be tried as adults. The specific case we'll be looking at is known as the Slenderman stabbing case.
In this case, two young girls, according to the Washington Post News, were lured out by one of their classmates and stabbed her numerous times in the belief that they could become servants to Slenderman. Now, both the girls were both held accountable for their actions. They were 12-year-olds at the time this incident occurred. They were admitted to a mental health facility for 25 years and are facing charges of homicide.
The question at hand following our topic is whether these girls should have been tried as adults for this violent crime. Being aware of their ages, it's pretty hard to imagine a 12-year-old going to jail. But we have laws in place for a reason. Having juveniles tried as an adult for violent crimes such as murder is a necessary need in order to prevent them from hurting other individuals again.
When it comes to juveniles in jail time, that being tried as an adult can really affect their lives because whatever crime they've been charged with now as an adult will be forever on their record. Aside from a life of carrying a record around, juveniles being charged as adults can be very hard for the families of the child being tried. When it comes to family perspective, having a child in jail who is tried as an adult can mentally affect them emotionally and financially. Looking at the emotional aspect, it definitely takes a toll on the family by making it more difficult to interact with their child. Considering the fact that whatever they may be serving their time might be far location-wise. With that being said, some parents might have to use some of their income to try and help provide for their children behind bars. For some parents, that might already be struggling with their income, so they could potentially be at risk for going into debt just to keep a connection with their child who is serving time.
Though it is upsetting to see the effect of children being tried as an adult in certain cases, it's something that is done to hold them accountable for their horrible decision that they chose to make. By being tried as an adult, they are being made an example of so that others may learn from their mistakes. In juvenile court, the judge is normally the one who has to come to the decision ultimately of what will be the end result for the child being charged. In an adult courtroom, there becomes an opportunity for people, the jury, to help determine whether they are guilty or not. This gives people of the community an opportunity to express their input on the case.
Something that needs to be brought back into light on this topic is taking into consideration the emotional toll on the victims and their families. With the specific cases as the example, the victim Peyton suffered from trauma and her family had to deal with that as well. By giving a child who had committed a violent crime leeway and the opportunity to be released into society, it creates an uneasy state of mind for the victim.
Personally, we agree that juveniles should be held accountable for committing violent crimes. At the end of the day, they are kids. Hardcore jail time may not be the full solution to solve the problem, but there could be more benefits from intensive therapy for those kids. Through intensive therapy, kids could gain a different mindset.
Having children tried as adults should only be used in specific circumstances. If a child is 17, near 18, they should be held accountable as an adult because they are of age to know the difference between right and wrong. Depending on the situation, like the Slenderman case, it seems as if mental health was just a part of the whole problem, because when it comes to the topic of mental health, many would agree that mental illnesses can lead more towards impulse, and from the case itself, it seems very well thought out and planned.
Overall, there are many revisions within the law that could definitely be made to ensure the safety and well-being of others without having juveniles being sentenced as adults, leaving them to spend a very long lifetime in prison, depending on the crime committed.